you doing today? How are things going
Hey,
so far?
things are great. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
well.
good. Good, good. You look great. First of all,
Thank
before
you.
we even start on this amazing performance, I just have to commend you on all of your performances. My God, every time I
Oh,
see you on the screen, I think the first time I ever got to really see you was in Sharp Objects, and I was like so blown away. So congratulations on your
thank you.
phenomenal talent.
Thank you. That is very sweet. I
My
appreciate that.
pleasure, my pleasure. Well, like I said, the Starling Girl, wow, I don't even know where to start on this one because my God, your heart so goes out to this character, Jem. I wanted to know when you first got this script, how did you connect with her? How did you make her so realistic?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's hard to not connect and empathize with Jem because she has such a hard time in this film.
Yeah,
But I guess on a more personal level, you know, I think everyone's been there before. Everyone has felt that kind of deep shame in their lives for
hmm
the way they look or the way they act, and for Jem it's you know at an extreme level, being in a religious fundamentalist church, um, and I think what was different about Jem as a character, especially in this environment, was that she still maintained a kind of fiery spirit and wasn't
yeah,
debilitated by the restriction that was placed on her. Rather, I think she pushed back more than others, and I found
right.
that to be a really interesting character trait. And I don't know, I was just really drawn to her, and it was such a well written script, and it was incisive and a really powerful read. I found it hard to I just couldn't stop thinking about it and really wanted to do it. So
Yeah, understandably so. I was wondering too for yourself. I know that it was loosely based on the director's, experience with an older gentleman, an older guy when she was younger, all that kind of stuff.
mhm,
But when you're set in a community like this, and it really doesn't matter what religion you are, because all of them have it, there's different
mhm.
sects of different religions, excuse me. And I wonder, for you, did you find anybody a young girl who might have been in this kind of situation? What kind of research did you do? I know there's a documentary that's kind of in this vein, but I just find it so
Yes.
fascinating because of these girls or guys who need to break away from this kind of community. It's
Mm.
tough.
Yeah, and I think making this film, we wanted it to feel realistic, and I think when you're portraying a story like this from the outside, I mean, none of us had come from a religious fundamentalist group.
Right.
Um, we we didn't want to sensationalize it or look at it from an outsider's perspective, but rather get under the skin. And so we had two consultants that we spoke with, and both of them had been in communities like this and had since left
Mm,
the community. And um, it was very powerful to hear their stories
yeah.
of leaving the community. And the first moment they began to doubt their faith and how catastrophic that was for them.
Yeah.
We attended fundamentalist church services, we read books and memoirs.
Mm,
And there was a film that was particularly influential called Stop the Pounding Heart, it's a hybrid film, so it's documentary and narrative.
right.
Um, and it's about a young girl who is in a church like this, and you see her begin to doubt her faith,
Mm,
um, and her feelings are sort of, she's having these private feelings, and she's surrounded by other young girls her age who don't feel that inclination to rebel at all. So
right.
it's
Yeah.
a very isolating feeling, and it was really helpful for me to understand Jem a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard enough as a teenage girl anytime anyway to
I know,
become
right?
a girl, right, going into womanhood and stuff.
Yeah.
Now she's got this, and what I find so interesting about this is, who does she turn to? The youth pastor, the guy who you're supposed to trust.
I
I mean,
know.
right?
I know. It's confusing for Jem.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, really. Yeah, unbelievable. Let's talk about, working with Lewis Pullman too, because there has to be that trust between the two of you. When you work with anybody on screen, you never know if that chemistry is gonna work. Like, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, we got to jump into a car and have a sex scene. I
Yeah.
wanted to know how much you guys talked about that and getting comfortable and just, feeling comfortable with him and having to do a scene like that. It's tough.
And yeah, it is tough. And it's not, it's not the sex scenes in the film, particularly one of the sex scenes, it's not all sunshine, and
Right.
it's quite fraught, and
Yeah.
there's it's a very loaded scene, and Jem feels, I think there's a part of Jem that maybe wasn't ready for it.
Mm,
And navigating that is difficult. So it was really such a blessing to have Lewis,
yeah.
because he's so, he's a gentle soul, and he's very kind. And I think we had a great creative relationship as well, where we both loved to talk about it, and like understand the nitty-gritty of every scene. And we had rehearsals, which was super helpful, because
Yeah.
we'd never met beforehand, and to have those, I think it was maybe like a week of rehearsals, to have that was just, if we didn't
Oh,
have, I think it would have been really different.
yeah.
So to have that trust already before you start shooting is just really important, and you don't get
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean, did he ever take you up in a fighter jet?
I wish. I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah, you make sure he does that for you now that he's a pro, right? What I love too is that, where she gets to express herself within this community is through dance. You did a really good
Mm.
job, but I've seen that, you've said that you're not a good dancer. I think you did a good job.
Thanks. Thank you. I mean, I worked really hard at it, like abnormally hard at it. I think anyone who was good at dancing would have taken a much shorter time than me to get better at it. But
Well,
thank you.
listen, oh, you're welcome. I mean, look, with every job, you get to learn something new, right? If why not? Take it as you can. I
Put
wanted
dancing
to
on my special interests now.
Yeah, there you go. I wanted to ask you, like I said earlier when we started to talk, you've chosen such great roles and you really shine in everything. What is it now when you're looking? I mean, you're such a young actress and you've got many years ahead of you. But when you get something now, is there something particular that you are drawn to, that you look for, in terms of whether it's the director, the script, the actual role, like something that's going to really challenge you? I was just curious about that.
Yeah, it's something that I'm still trying to understand myself. I
Yeah.
mean, when you start out in a career, you don't really have much autonomy, and you're sort of taking every job that you can get.
Yeah.
Um, but I do, and from that, you're sort of, people find it easy to see you in certain roles, and so that kind of leads you down a certain path with jobs. But I think for me, when I'm reading scripts, what draws me to certain scripts is probably a few things, which is, the script itself. But what's also important for me is the team. I think the team kind of colors the script in a big way, and helps you understand what sort of film it's going to be.
Yeah.
So those two things I think are really important for me to know. But honestly, I do not have an agenda. I'm just,
Well, that's good.
just read, and if I like it, I like it, and hopefully
Yeah.
I, get the
Yeah.
role.
Well, like I said, you've chosen well so far. Just
Thank
just
you.
to wrap it up, I wanted to ask you, I mean, I think this is a film that is going to strike a chord with a lot of people. I know that it's been shown at festivals and but I think young teens are really going to connect to Gem, like to these characters, and maybe somebody who might be in the same situation. I was just wondering from you what you hope if somebody watches this, a young teen in this situation, what would you hope that they get from it or take
Hmm.
away?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think that if anyone were to watch it, I would hope that young girls and teens would watch it, because it's such a, it's a very delicate and incisive illustration on bodily shame, and
Yeah,
a lot of girls feel that at some point in their lives, and
right.
especially in high school. And I, you know, I really struggled with that,
Mm.
like many people do. And uh, yeah, I just hope that maybe Gem's journey imparts some knowledge onto young girls to, I don't know, follow expression rather than getting caught up in their image, or feeling shame around their body image and things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I was thinking about the parents in this and especially her mom. And I mean, I think ultimately, I mean, I guess the mom really didn't know anything different because she's in this, this religion, but I think
Yeah.
she had good intentions in heart. I don't know, like, she just wants to protect her kids at the end of her daughter
Mm.
at the end of the day. Do you agree with
Yeah.
that? Or,
Yeah, but also at the end of the day, I think she's been grown up too with religious trauma,
right. Yeah.
and she passes that shame on to her. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that are left unsaid in that family because her mother turns a blind eye, and
Right.
she enables a lot of that behavior. So, and we see that all the time, like how certain attitudes and beliefs are passed on from, parents to children. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, so parents do have a big part to play.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you're just wonderful, wonderful in this. And, I can't wait to see what you do next, but I really do appreciate your time today. And thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank
Take
you. Nice
care.
speaking with you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.